So I get it. I understand that women love to say that body count doesn't matter nor shouldn't matter. And you can do whatever you want. You can move through this world. You are a free sentient being. However, the issue comes when you do whatever you want, you tick no one's boxes, and then later on in life, you complain that no one wants to marry you, take you serious, or any of that. Now, women have the luxury of being pursued by men. So many women conflate this fact that they get pursued by men, that men would marry them, that it's all up to them. All they have to do is want it. All they have to do is say yes. But we can tell from the marriage rates in the United States that people aren't getting married. The men that women want simply are not settling down. They are not committing. They are not monogamous. And more women today demand monogamy, now more than ever. Now, if there were ever a culture of women that absolutely did not deserve monogamy, it would be this culture of women. All of that and more on The Radical Masculine.
The ideas, opinions, and beliefs of the radical masculine are for entertainment purposes only. We make fun of everyone equally.
My fellow radical masculinists, just know that your support does go a long way. Content like this is usually frowned upon and shamed, usually by women or feminists or YouTube or large companies, because everybody wants to be woke. So your support does matter. So if you can hit that like button, if you can subscribe. I've noticed that 75% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed. So please subscribe if you like the content. You could also cash at me. All money invested in the Radical Masculine goes right back in to the Radical Masculine. It doesn't go into my pocket. It goes into better cameras and hopefully a future better product. Now on to the show. So here's the problem. You can't have the best and brightest of men. You can't offer nothing a man wants. You can't use your youth to kind of just do whatever, rack up trauma, bodies, experiences, and not want to settle down until the party's about over, until the club is about ready to close. And once you start getting less attention, now all of a sudden, you want to find either God, spirituality, you want to create a reason why your standards are high and why your standards are your standards. You can't give men or offer men nothing that they want and expect to have the best and the brightest. That's basically what it comes down to. Many women today, they want an unfair, unbalanced deal. They want it's kind of like a credit card. Throughout their 20s, women are racking up charges on their credit card. Boom. This guy in Cancun. These guys at the club. This lit guy who has money, who cash apps me. And then by the time you're 30, you have a crazy bill. And the husband's supposed to pay all of this money and then accept you as you are while you bring nothing that he wants. Most women don't bring anything men value to a relationship. So many times women say, "Oh, I am the table." Well, that's a metaphor. The table is a metaphor for an individual. So if I bring this to the table is the relationship. The table is me. So whenever a woman says, "I am the table," all that means is she is bringing herself. Now, women want to be like guys and say, oh, well, I make money. I do my thing. I'm successful. I'm educated. When men really don't value that. Now, to a certain extent, men don't value that. But it's not the be-all, end-all when we date a woman. She has to check certain boxes first, and then we care about that type of stuff. But I've been with rich women, and guess what? Their money never mattered because they never spent a dime. They never split the bills. They never paid for dates. And I get it. A lot of women say, oh no, well, I do. I'll tell you what, in 39 years on this planet, I have never had a woman want to pay for a date or a dinner. Now, they have done it before, but I knew deep down they didn't want to. So I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to say, hey, men, open your eyes. Wake up. You don't have to accept a terrible deal. People like to say, well, we're humans. We're imperfect. And that's true. But guys don't have to accept not one red flag if they don't want to. If a man invests in himself and he becomes the best version of himself, he doesn't have to accept not a damn thing. And women don't like that. So today we are going to react to a video from the Whatever podcast where they talk about this idea of body count, and as usual, women try to downplay it. They like to play stupid. They like to gaslight. They like to attribute the problem of a high body count to a man. And simply said, men can't have standards. So we are going to break down and dissect this video. So stay tuned for your feature presentation.
Agree with the majority of your viewers and the perspectives they share?
Do you guys got beef? What do you want? Tell me how you really
I'm
feel.
Just curious.
Tell me how you really feel about my viewers.
I'm just genuinely curious.
Well, I mean, I would say this.
Majority wise.
Well, I would say this. And
I learned this probably this year whenever a woman says, oh no, I'm genuinely curious. No, I really want to know. They are setting you up so you could say something and they could, boom, hit you with some bullshit. It's like when women say, well, do you have a girlfriend? No, I'm serious. I genuinely want to know. And then you say, no. Oh, well then why are you giving advice? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? You shouldn't say nothing to nobody because you don't know nothing yourself. That's why. So let's see if she does that.
I give credit to Tupac, who said this in the 90s. So he said something along the lines of, I am only responsible for the words that come out of my mouth. I do not take ownership of what other people say. I don't claim to know the position on various political issues and social issues that all my viewers hold. I'm sure I have a diversity of thought when it comes to my viewership. So it's hard to say. I haven't taken a poll on what specifically my viewers think. You would have to ask me specifically what you think my viewers think, and I could confirm or deny whether I agree or disagree with them.
I'm just curious if you've noticed, like,
closer to the mic.
I'm just curious because if you've noticed a string of either hate or disrespectful comments coming from your viewership. Just genuine curiosity.
Whenever a woman disagrees with like the host of a podcast or a podcast itself, they immediately go and they attack the people in the comments. So when women say they don't care what people say or how people think, it's a fucking lie. They absolutely do. A woman's confidence is like $100 bill. I mean, it looks nice, it's blue, it seems valuable, but when you look at it from the side, it's thin and it's only a piece of paper.
And if you support that sort of behavior and demeanor.
Well, I mean, you'd have to tell me which specific comment. I'm not there. We get something like over 10,000 chats a show. I don't read.
This is the morality argument. This is the, do you support people that hurt people, harm people? Do you support terrible people? No, I'm literally serious. I'm just curious. Nah, this is her way to gaslight, play stupid, and discredit what the men are saying, especially the men in the comment section. And guess what? The comment section is what men think. And women believe, even if it is true, women believe if a man says anything negative or that doesn't hold them in the best light possible, they immediately go to shaming them, discrediting them. Bottom line is, if a man does not kiss a woman's ass and tell her exactly what she wants to hear when she wants to hear it, then he's a misogynist, he's chauvinistic, or disrespectful.
All the I just see the super chats and the TTS.
I know you said not to read the chat, but every time I look over, I see somebody calling us sluts.
304s, is that what they're saying?
Yeah, which I'm sure stands for hoe.
I mean, so as
Ding,
far
ding,
as
ding.
you'd have to tell me a specific comment that someone makes. I'm not responsible for the words that somebody else says. I would say though, sometimes the super chats, they maybe can be insulting. I would agree with you there. Sometimes they're just playful roasting, but
I feel like they try to be witty and they try to be insulting, but it kind of flops.
And I mean,
I'd like to see somebody make me laugh.
Clearly, it doesn't, because you have a point of contention with it. I'd like to hear somebody make me laugh. They're not doing it to entertain you. And here's the thing. If you don't want to be viewed as a hoe, a 304, or a slut, then don't do or say things that make you align with what they call you. And women do most of the time. And then they complain.
One of them.
Like, banter should be encouraged in any setting like this, but I'm just curious. It was just genuine curiosity.
Well, I mean, I would say what I told you before the show is that the internet, because of the anonymity, people are,
of course,
people are going to be like, say fucked up shit. We have a couple moderators. We don't have a ton of moderators. We're pretty lax when it comes to the chat moderation. Unless there's something really egregious, we don't really, people are going to have their opinions and we just kind of free flow,
Well, they don't like us, and there's nothing that we can say to make them like us, because you have a pretty wide range of opinions and backgrounds sitting here at this table.
Yep.
But to your viewers, we're all hoes, and there's nothing we can say to change that. If we give an answer they agree with, we're lying.
The thing is this. She is right. There is a broad range of people, personalities, career paths, backgrounds, and notice how they all will act the same.
Chat, confirm or deny. Are they all hoes?
I will say
no.
Confirm or deny. Are they all hoes?
What does 304s
Your chat
mean?
thinks so. I mean,
Harley Quinn said no. I forgot what she said. She's too unimportant. But she's definitely going for that Harley Quinn vibe.
your podcast.
Oh, I keep seeing that. Oh.
Well, I mean, we could, assess the degree to which.
What makes a woman a hoe?
Well, let's talk about body count.
There's a double standard.
What's
It is
considered?
justified double standard.
Is it though? Because
yeah.
emotional attachment
Yes.
psychology
yeah.
would say otherwise.
I have no idea what you mean, but we're going to get into that. So let's go around the table. First off,
Not in a body count.
no. Should body count matter?
No.
No.
Notice how they're all probably going to say no. And watch the looks on all of their faces whenever Brian or anybody brings it up. Because you know for a fact these bitches are out here fucking. Absolutely. That's why, men are doing it. It's not a big deal. It shouldn't matter. Women that don't participate in promiscuity, this shit rolls over their back like nothing. I was going to say like the duck in water, but I didn't know that analogy. But watch how uncomfortable they all get, and this has to tell you something about them. This is how men know a woman's body count, because clearly we know that women aren't going to be honest with us. So we have to pick up on different cues. We have to look at different examples. We ask one question and it kind of tells us a little bit where they stand on it. And yeah, so that's how we know. And women always say, well, how do you know? We know.
It should be a conversation of discussion between you and your partner.
Okay, I'll go around the table. Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, what about you?
No.
I'm willing to bet. Well, we're gonna see, but I'm willing to bet she's probably, even though those titties are hanging out, she kind of comes off as a woman who really isn't out there like that. Like maybe a couple of long-term relationships, but yeah. And then the girl with the bangs and with the white shirt, I'm willing to bet that her body count is up there with the biggest, most promiscuous woman here on the panel.
What? Wait.
Yeah. Oh,
Say it again. I don't
No.
think the camera was on you. Go ahead.
yes.
I think yes, but I wouldn't want to know.
You wouldn't want to know the guy's body count.
No.
Okay, let me just make the question a bit more precise. Do you have an issue with men who... Would you take quarrel with men having... sorry, I'm thinking the best way to word this. Would you take quarrel with a man caring about your body count or a woman's body count? Go ahead.
Wait, do I have quarrel with someone else's body count?
Would you take quarrel because I think men tend to care about this more than women do.
Mm-hmm.
There's certainly...
He was pretty clear about it, but watch how they'll attempt to frustrate, derail, sidetrack, or play stupid. This is gaslighting 101. Women talk about men gaslighting, but women, it's part of their nature.
Men that do care about their partner's body count. However, I think men have more, and there's reasons for this, men care more about it than women do. So do you have an issue? For example, the previous question I asked is, should body count matter? And you could view that as, well, I don't care about body count. However, I guess the way I want to get to the bottom of this is, do you think, or do you have an issue with men caring about body count? Do you have an issue with that preference that men have?
Oh, so if a man's going to be upset with me for my body count being too high, you're saying would I be upset by that?
Would you take issue with a man having a preference for a woman with a low body count? Do you think that's a wrong preference to have?
If she doesn't
It's
get it,
not a
then
wrong preference to have. I understand. It's just that I also don't like being judged, because when I was more promiscuous, I was going through a really hard time and I was depressed, and like that's how I...
no one cares about what the fuck you go through. They just care about the end product. Whenever a woman has a promiscuous past, it usually rears its ugly head at certain times or different traumas or different areas in a healthy relationship. It always does. I can tell you this, the most unhappy group of women that I've come across have been the women that used to be hoes or still are hoes. but yeah, women don't want to accept it. Women do not like shame because it holds them accountable.
dealt with it.
It
So
can be a form of self-harm.
I don't feel, yes, it is a form of self-harm. So that's why I wouldn't want to be judged, but I understand if they would have a problem with it and then they're not the right guy for me if it's too high for them or whatever, but yeah.
I wouldn't take issue with it. Like, everybody has their boundaries, and that's fine.
Okay. But show of hands, who says body count does matter?
To a certain extent. I mean,
Okay, you three. Okay. So for those of you who said, and perhaps the ones who also said it should matter can answer this. For those who said body count should not matter, does not matter, what's your body count?
okay, 45.
45? Okay.
Yes.
What about you?
I'm going to play the fifth on this one.
Gross. So this is how you know they're full of shit. Because if they really felt deep down that it doesn't matter, because whenever women are asked this, they're quick to say, no, of course not, no. But when they are asked what their body count is, they immediately hesitate. So they're just lying to them fucking selves.
Come on. Be a good sport. Be a good sport. She answered.
Honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't really know, and I'll tell you why. There was a lot of years that I was using and drinking. I'm like 2.5 years of sobriety.
Okay.
Well, I'm
And-
proud of you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thanks, man. So there's a lot of situations where I don't remember.
Sure.
You know,
Range? Do you want to give us a range? A guesstimate?
I'd say it's like 60.
60? Okay.
60.
What about you?
What's yours?
What's your body count?
What's yours?
Deflection.
Curious.
Okay, there's a process to this podcast. It's my show. I'm asking you guys individually. You're not going to do a reverse Uno. What's your body count?
Okay. Will you tell me afterwards? Because I'm curious.
Answer the question.
Okay, 14.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Into the mic, please. And you need to scoot the mic that way, please.
Okay. I'm not stating.
I thought body count shouldn't matter, though.
That's not what I said. I said it's just a discussion between the partners.
That's fair. You're right. You're right. You did say that. Okay. So don't want to. Do you want to give us a range?
No.
Okay.
I can give you.
That is the highest number a woman can say. Whenever they say, I don't remember, regardless of the reason why they say they don't remember. Oh, I went swimming and then I woke up in a coma, or I was in a bad car accident and I lost my memory. Whenever they say that, or they say, no, I'm not going to, that is the highest fucking number imaginable. That's like a girl saying 4,000. So treat it as such, men.
The fact that I was in a 7-year relationship and I was engaged, and that was...
Okay.
You would think the fact that she was in a 7-year relationship and engaged, her body count should be low enough for her to feel comfortable enough to say it. So this is how you know women are out here fucking more than men. Women like to always say, well, men do it, men are doing it, men do it. But women have less testosterone, less sex drive, and still the average woman has more sexual partners by a long shot, by a landslide, compared to their male counterparts.
Okay, so you had sex at least one time. Good to know. Okay, what about you?
We're all doing this?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were saying just the people that said body
Yeah,
count
why not?
didn't
We'll just go
matter.
around the table.
I would rather not say, but
It's
yeah, I don't know. I lost my virginity when I was 22, and I've been in one relationship, so...
What? So it's
Use that little thing you calculate. What did they do? Is they say multiply by 3? You use your little calculations and figure.
For one, it's much higher than what she's saying. For two, if she were to give her body count, it would discredit the things that she has told her boyfriend about her body count. Because she would probably be vague with her boyfriend. Well, I didn't lose my body count until I was 22. And then I'm 20, whatever. I don't even know how old she is. I'm 24 now. So you do the math. Insinuating it's only a few. But there have been plenty of women that had a certain number body count entering a relationship, a monogamous, supposedly relationship. And when they leave that relationship, prior to their next guy or whatever, their body count goes up by 2 or 3, meanings that they cheated. So this is why she's being hesitant on this question, because she's afraid it may not align with what she's told her boyfriend. Because women always understate, downplay, or lessen their bodies or any type of perceived promiscuity.
Out.
so it's low then.
Yeah.
What is it?
I'd rather... I just told you. I mean...
It's 1?
Everyone has...
Is it 1?
Well, I said use the calculations, you know, so like...
So okay, so it's 3?
Something like that.
That's the thing. I'm willing to bet that it is low. But I'm also willing to bet that she's afraid to put her foot in her mouth by saying some bullshit that doesn't align with the story she's been telling her boyfriend. Or her ex-boyfriend, or the guy that she's dealing with now. Because women are always dealing with the guy. Even these women that say, oh, I'm single on purpose, women are always dealing with the guy.
All right, for sure. Fine. What about you?
I don't know. I don't sit around and count, but probably 20.
We all know women do absolutely count.
Okay, sure.
4.
When a woman says, so that goes into that same category, I don't know, I don't think about it, I don't count. This is that outrageous, crazy number. They don't give you a number, but what they say tells you everything you need to know.
Did it? Yeah.
I'm not going to put it out there.
Range?
No.
Range? Come on.
No.
More than 10?
I'm not going to give you...
Smart girl.
Less than 10, more than 10?
She almost said
I
yes.
don't want to put it out there. That's my answer.
Okay, well, in any case,
Multiply it by 3, and that's the real number.
whatever the numbers may be. So, no, I'm not going to answer your question.
Why not?
Well, I think body count matters. Thus, I'm not going to answer it.
Okay, but if you pressed us for hours, why won't you give yours?
Well, because I think body count matters.
Yeah, but some of us thought it mattered. and
Yeah,
we
I thought
still
it
answered.
mattered. And you still made me.
Well, I didn't
people
make
raised
you,
their hands
and you
and
didn't.
said it
You didn't
mattered.
really answer the question.
Okay.
So you're not going to answer, so I'm going to assume
I'm a man
10,
of
multiply
God.
that by 3, so 30.
Well, actually,
Okay,
for men, you
respect.
divide.
got-
This goes to women trying to equate men and women as the same, because we all know men usually lie up with their body count. Women lie down. So it's comparing apples to oranges. But women just don't seem to fucking get this.
You
by
got
3.
some riz.
For men, you divide by 3, actually.
I don't think so.
That's how it goes.
No, I don't think so. I'm going to put you at like 30.
You think 30?
You got riz.
You think so?
Sure.
I think so.
I can neither confirm or deny this guess. Okay, so you said it was a double standard.
I do think. Yes,
How
I do
so?
think.
What do you mean?
I think often men want women to have a very low body count.
Sure.
And when a woman objects to a man having a higher body count, it's seen like it's absurd. Why would you ask me that? Because men are praised for having sexual interactions, while women are demeaned for having more sexual interactions.
Sure. The double standard.
Yeah.
I've heard this also go something along the lines of, when a woman sleeps with a lot of men, she's viewed as a slut, but when a guy does the same thing, he's viewed as gay.
Huh?
Wait, what?
With a lot of
So
women.
it's a bad joke.
Yeah, because when a man sleeps with more men, oh my God, they're gay. Okay.
No, but yes, I know what you mean. But
Oh.
that really just comes down to it's easy for women to get laid. It's hard for men to get laid.
I don't believe that, though.
Women are the gatekeepers of
Jeremy in
sex.
Space
Hold on, hold on.
Yes.
We'll come back to that. Hold on.
$110. Don't think you're all 403s. Respect you for coming on and sharing your views. Would you ever date a virgin, a guy saving themselves for marriage? Do you respect a guy with purity values, who respects women?
Okay, so
I bet you any money they'll all say yes, but in practice they would never.
let's do this. We'll do just the first 2 questions there. Would you date a virgin, and would you date a guy saving himself for marriage?
Yes.
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 Here, let's just go around the table really quick.
Okay, absolutely.
I knew it.
I would not date a virgin.
Sure.
I did. I will not again.
I've never dated a virgin, but I would.
I would not.
I would. I would.
Okay, cool. Go ahead with your point.
Oh, I just explained the disparity between the two of them.
Well,
Was there-
you got interrupted there, so if you could just maybe rewind 5 seconds.
She explained the reality of life. So this is a feelings argument. She laid it out, what it is, what most people accept, and yet she's still going to find a way to make it a bad thing because it makes them feel bad.
The entire portion? I
Or it's unfair.
can.
Mhm.
Okay. I was saying that women are often chastised or demeaned because they have a higher body count, where men are praised for having a higher body count. And there is a stark disparity between two.
That's because the reason why men are praised is because
And if
it's
you
hard
s-
for men to get
and if you
laid. It's
say-
easy for women to get laid.
I disagree.
Women are the gatekeepers of sex, but it doesn't mean that it can't be taken from you. And many
what?
women and many men are
Women always try to make it an essay, a grape, a man overpowering a woman, taking the accountability off of the woman. And what many women fail to understand, because women are quick to shame one another by saying, I don't think it's hard because there's some thirsty ass females out here, but they don't realize that the guy has to be someone who can approach, who can get a yes. So that takes work, finances, all the things that account to his looks and all that. She has to, or he has to get her to accept the date. he has to pay for it. There's just a whole bunch of steps that women conveniently forget about whenever they say that, oh, I don't think it's hard.
Very manipulative with their intent, and I met plenty of.
Call her out on this bullshit, Brian.
Y'all love to derail the conversation.
I don't
with these
understand.
No,
cringe-
it's not derailing. It's not derailing.
Thomas donated $100. Love him or hate him, Brian always spitting straight facts on this podcast. A-okay, and also my body count is over 9,000.
It's over 9,000.
Hold on, I'll play it one more time.
It's over 9,000!
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Okay, Brian,
yeah.
where would you like me to come back? Because I would rather have a discussion than you feel that I'm derailing the conversation, because that's not where I want to go.
But, okay,
Yeah, she just attempted to make it sound like men are out here essaying, graping. United States is the only country that literally disrespect men like this, make them all sound like they are pervs, chomos, all of that shit. In other countries, men are praised for being masculine, and they don't say this about them because a select few of bad apples do heinous and terrible things. But women love to paint men with a broad brush and say they are, and make it seem like they are all capable of it and like it happens all the time. And I'm sure it does happen, but women rather duck that accountability and make men seem like the bad guys for it.
we're talking about the
Disparity
double
between men and women.
standard, and now you want to bring up SA. I don't, again,
That's not.
I don't see how it, like,
Okay.
it's related.
Okay.
I don't
fine.
see how it's related.
I'll take it off the
Most
table.
women who have high body counts, it's not due to SA, it's due to consensual casual sex. So I don't see how it's at all related to the conversation.
But if guys were able to, they would too.
I don't get this whole thing about guys get laid less than girls. Like, I don't understand.
It's true.
How men always have someone to cheat with, though. Like,
That is
how
so
do-
not
if they
true,
don't
bro.
have, if they don't get as much girls, or the whole scenario, if that's true, how do they always find someone to cheat with? It makes no sense. How is that
not true.
possible?
You're just surrounding yourself by cheaters. I don't know.
Well, I've never
All
been,
men are not cheaters.
I've never been cheated on personally, but I see it all the time. I see men that are always
On social media. So women say, I won't follow a man, but women are always following something. These days, they're following one another. They give each other bad information. They all are sold on social media and the lifestyles. So regardless, a woman will be led. That's why it's important a man finds a woman that's willing to be led and willing to submit, because that simply means that she's not willing to submit elsewhere.
have multiple girls. Like,
Eric, can you open
like
the
it's
door?
nothing.
It's fucking hot in here.
It is hot.
Yeah,
I'm sweating.
Eric trying to boil us. Okay, just kidding. I love you, Eric. Just kidding. So you think it's easy for men to get laid?
I don't think it's as hard as they make it seem. Like,
Bruv.
I will no. I
Bro.
think it is really hard because I like girls too, and I can't fucking talk to them to save my life.
Oh,
so
based. There we go. Okay, hold on.
I don't know.
You deserve a little. There we go. Okay. You wanted to come in. Go ahead.
I would agree that men have it harder, but it is a specific percentage of men that have it harder.
It's a very high percentage of men, but
right.
Continue.
That
More like the majority.
percentage is large that have it harder, but that
Yeah.
top 1%, which not gonna lie, that women tend to be panning for, have a
And another thing women forget to consider is I have Riz. My body count's crazy. And I can get mad women. I could date multiple women. I could have a roster. I'm one of the very few or small percentage of men that actually can do that. And I'm not just talking shit. But in order for me to put myself in a position to get a lot of sex, it takes hard work either way. Even though I got the Riz, I got the game, I have the potential, I can do it, I have done it, I know the game, I'm well versed in the game, it still is hard because it takes time, it takes effort, it takes motivation, it takes purpose and vision to make it happen when women could just walk outside, not think about nothing, not try anything, and a guy will still come up to her.
Much higher body count than the everyday woman because they have that access because they've built that access for themselves.
But this is again the apex fallacy. You're looking at the top percentage of men. When I'm speaking in generalities here, are there men that are running through chicks who are top tier, really attractive, high status, wealthy men? Absolutely.
They tend to have the bigger voice.
There's regular men that are doing that. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I know people down the street that work at the grocery store and still have a girl to cheat with. So
okay,
he's not a top earner and he still has someone to sleep with on the side, outside of his relationship.
But it's over. Are there men that are promiscuous? Absolutely. Are there men that...
I think all men are promiscuous.
Women are more promiscuous than men.
I disagree.
No.
I agree with Brian.
Women are more promiscuous.
Then, what world am I living in?
Here's why. Women have more capability to be promiscuous. You take an average dude, bro, he's going to struggle to get a girlfriend, to get laid. An average chick, if she was so inclined, could sleep with 3 new guys a day.
Okay, that's fair.
I
could see it that
way.
So
the standard stems from jealousy then, is what you're saying?
It's not jealousy, it's easier for women to get laid.
Okay, so if it's easier...
So that's why men are praised for it, because it's viewed as...
Because it's more of an accomplishment for them,
I get what you're saying.
It's difficult to get laid as a guy.
That's fair, and
I agree.
I'm sure that's incredibly frustrating, but I don't think it's fair to be so hateful to the women who are able to have sex. Like, that's somebody else's life, not yours. It shouldn't affect you.
I'm not being hateful.
So it does affect the man. Now we're talking about it from a relationship or marriage standpoint. These women are acting like guys are just talking about a woman's body count and devaluing them. But men are talking about it from their own point of view, as if I don't want a girl with a high body count for me. That's what they mean when they say this, because it is disgusting. It is a turnoff. But women want to make it sound like, boom, just throwing stones. But no, men are talking about when it comes to them and a relationship with them, they don't want a promiscuous woman. And sure, women like to say it's none of the guy's business. It absolutely is the guy's business. If the guy wants a relationship, wants the mother of his children, wants a wife, he has a right to know. Just like your employers have a right to know your work history, because the things you do in the past, okay, women don't understand this. The habits that you create in your 20s, you will carry with you for the rest of your life. So if you're fucking all throughout your 20s and you're promiscuous, they will absolutely follow you for the rest of your life.
Your chat. I'm addressing your viewers, not you. I'm saying, like, in general, like, if a guy sees, like, a woman and, like, his immediate thought is, oh, she's a hoe, she has an active sex life, you're free to think what you want, that's fine. At the same time, you're not actively sleeping with her. That's not your girlfriend. Why does somebody else's life and their choices affect you so deeply that you have to direct hate towards them?
Oh.
Well, I mean, there's a couple questions there, but I mean, I think generally speaking, there's kind of a counterculture going on where people are not particularly enthused with hookup culture.
I'm not either. But I don't think name calling and singling out women to shame them for their private lives is
so
right. So
how do we get rid of hookup culture?
Well, we can't.
Women,
we can't.
Women
honestly,
can stop
I think
it.
women need to start shaming women on this one. I think.
Yeah, women can stop.
I'm not going to shame
for
anybody.
sure, because we are the ones who decide outside of the other stuff. We are the ones who decide if a man is going to sleep with us or not. If you would say no, like, for example, the cheating thing, like, men would not be able to cheat on their girls if there wasn't a woman that was willing and saying yes.
Is it me, or is this girl absolutely obsessed with men cheating, or the idea or the concept? She wants to talk about men cheating so fucking bad that every time she speaks, she brings it up. I'm willing to bet that this female has cheated on guys before in the past, because the biggest cheaters tend to be the ones that are worried the most about a guy cheating on them, because they are afraid that she is going to finally be vulnerable the way many men were vulnerable with her and they are going to cheat and break her heart. That's why women start talking like this and bringing up this whole cheating thing.
We are the ones who hold the power to that. We're the ones who control a hookup culture or whatever you want to call it. Like, it's our power. We can say no.
I won't shame anyone, man or woman, because I feel like people's private lives are exactly that. They're private lives, and it doesn't involve me.
Now, she probably won't shame anybody when it comes to body count, but who here thinks that she won't shame a man who isn't good enough for her, that does something wrong to her, that opposes any of her viewpoints, or tries to get with her and she finds them unattractive? I absolutely guarantee you she is talking about, this guy ain't shit, he's broke, he has nothing going on for himself. But women always play this virtuous, honest, non-combative, good person. And we absolutely do not see this happening in mass. Absolutely not.
But that's only if you have a problem with hookup culture. Like, if you don't care, like, if you're for it, then whatever, do what you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
But for people who, you know, have a problem with it, just know you as a woman, you're the one who has the control over that. Like, 100%.
I don't partake in hookup culture, but I think, like, generally, I don't think anyone should shame anyone.
You said you don't partake in hookup culture. I mean,
because I'm in a long-term relationship, and even
you previously partook in hookup culture.
Not really. I don't think there's not many times that I'm not in a long-term relationship.
Excuse me if I'm misquoting, and I'm not saying this to attack you, but didn't you say your body count was like 14?
Yes.
Ooh.
I mean, I don't.
Bust it. Like 25 years ago, 14 was like the 100 today. So 14 still fucking 14.
Expect all of those were long-term relationships.
Obviously, I did have hookups, but it's not a regular thing I would ever part.
Busted. See, fellas, watch this shit. Now, I've seen enough videos, I've done enough research to where this is the norm. Women are lying, walking, talking, breathing, heart beating contradictions. They'll say anything to make themselves look. They'll do anything to put themselves in the best light, to look virtuous and pure. Men sell status and money and success. Women sell purity. Women will even lie to either prove a point or to make them look good in any situation. And she just got caught. You just played yourself.
Sure, there's definitely girls who are more consistent in participating in hookup culture.
And I think that's fine. Again, like, that's their private life and that's their business. And I don't think anyone should shame anyone, even if you disagree with hookup culture. At the end of the day, you lay in your bed and you have your own thoughts and issues to reckon with,
The reason why, even if a woman is against something, the reason why she doesn't shame it or she acts like it's okay, just in case in the future they decide to participate in it, that they won't be like, they don't vilify something that is a potential possibility for them in the future. That's why women, even if they disagree with something, will still say it's okay. And this is why women give each other terrible, terrible advice and information. If you are a guy hell-bent on getting into a relationship with a modern woman, I wouldn't recommend it. But I would say, make sure she follows your lead and make sure all of her friends are cut off. Women will say that's controlling. Men like me will say that will eliminate and alleviate a potential for a majority of problems, bad advice, or encouraging bad behavior. So, yeah. Sorry. And if you don't like it, kick rocks. Men need to start having the standard and boundary to where if you don't meet my expectations, well then you don't get a relationship. You are sex only, recreational use.
Everybody else's life is just that, their life. We're all in this shit together. You can't change what somebody wants to do with their body. You can only be responsible for yourself. And I think
And this is why we say this, and this is why we have these shows and reactions and this movement, because women are clearly going to do whatever in the hell they want. But it's important for guys like me to encourage men to be the best versions of themselves, to overcome adversity, to overcome the world, but also to understand female nature today in 2023 and to not tolerate it, knowing the warning signs and getting the fuck out of there. So yeah, she is right, but we need platforms like this to show exactly how women are these days in 2023. And I don't think all women are bad, but I think for a relationship, I'd be very wary about getting with a modern woman. Absolutely.
More people need to be focusing on themselves rather than what others are doing.
Okay, so to bring it back to the double standard, one of the reasons why there's a different standard on this is because it's very easy for women to get laid and it's hard for men to get laid. Do you agree with that?
No, she'll lie.
I know.
Oh, me?
I know you
She'll lie to
disagree.
prove a
You
point.
think it's easy for men to get laid.
I don't think all I don't think all women have it easy. I think again it's like a top percentage that
Oh my God. This is why we can't have these conversations with women, and this is why men just have to know better and then react, because women can't even bring honesty to the table. And they think they're bringing the table. They can't even bring honesty.
predominantly are viewed as attractive that have it very easy.
I would say like almost barring like morbid obesity or like severe, like I'm talking like bottom 1 percentile in terms of physical attractiveness, I would say the top 90% of women could like fuck a new dude every single day of the week.
Yeah, men don't say no.
Like on Tinder, we had a girl last show who, pleasant girl, I'm not saying this to be insulting to her or to denigrate her in any way. She was of below average attractiveness. She was overweight. She said she had a sex addiction. She said that her body count was 136, something like that. And she was at one point she had slept with, I don't know how consistent it was, but at one point she was able to sleep with 6 men in one day. In order for a male to do that, you need to, I don't even think like a top tier guy just solely on top 1% of physical attractiveness could do that. In order for a guy to do that, you need status. You need to be like Drake. You need to be a male celeb, like top tier athlete, musician, or actor to sleep with 6 new women in a day. I don't even think a top tier male who doesn't have status could do that. So, and
women always forget about the time and effort it takes. Are there women that will say yes to sex quickly? Sure, but there's not, for a man to get a woman to sleep with them, it takes time. It's always, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes focus, and it does take dedication. That's the biggest difference. That's the biggest thing women are overlooking, is the fact that they could just boom, because they are the ones that say yes. So they could say yes immediately, or they could say yes within an hour. Men are counting on the woman to say yes. And it could be quicker, it could be longer, but the average woman could say yes to sex in just 1 second. However, in order for a man to get a yes to sex, or a woman to agree to sex, that's anywhere from 1 second to 90 days. And all in between. And definitely, usually, it's not going to be in 1 fucking second. Let's keep it 100. Let's say, best case scenario, 30 minutes. You meet her, boom, boom, boom.
she's like a below, I'm not saying this to be mean, but just to articulate my point, she's like below average. 6 dudes in a night. Very few men can claim being able to do that. Most men struggle to get a match on Tinder, to get a date off of Tinder.
Well, men are just way less picky as well. They'll.
Brian, I see your point, though.
Their standards are.
What's that?
I see your.
Yes, men are less picky, and still the fact remains. It's harder.
Point. I agree
I'm not
with you.
disagreeing.
For women, what you're saying.
You guys
Almost-
don't
Yeah,
hold
I completely agree with
standards
you, and
either.
I'm saying it because men, that, as long as they're having sex, they usually don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Unless
here's
they're
the-
looking for a relationship, and that's a
Sure.
different situation. But
any single girl at this table, and to be fair, we got some attractive girls at the table. Any single girl at this table could download Tinder right now. It's 9:11 p.m. You could get laid tonight if you were so inclined. Do any of you think you could, if you were so inclined, you could download the dating app and get laid tonight?
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most guys cannot answer that question confidently.
Yeah.
Most guys
Real
cannot
issue.
say on a Sunday at 9 p.m. it's going to be hard for me to fuck a girl tonight. I couldn't do that shit. I couldn't do that.
Then
Skill
how do they
issue.
always find someone to cheat
Skill
with?
issue.
Then how do they always find somebody to cheat with? Because the thing is, women pre-select. So I get the most attention from women whenever I have a consistent roster of 3 women. Now, even if it was just one woman I was with, women want men that other women want. So you get the most women when you already have a woman. That's the way it's always been, and that's the way it will always be.
I thought I had Riz. What's up? Throw me under the
Full
bus.
180,
here.
dude.
Throw me under the bus. No, but it's just different. It's different. But you still think that it's easier for men to get laid?
I don't think it's as hard as, I don't know, maybe it's the type of guys that I'm mostly around.
It's definitely the type of guys that you're mostly around, and also women will lie to fucking prove their point because she has to be right about this. And although she does have some good information and she has agreed with important aspects of the show, still, that does not change the fact that most women these days, they just have to be right about something, and it doesn't fucking matter. Women women could look at facts, data, and statistics right in the face and still say, I don't believe it, or I don't care, or whatever.
I don't know, maybe that's it, because I'm mostly around like people in the entertainment industry.
Sure.
So maybe that's what I'm seeing. But
Ding, 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 ding. Okay, so that is going to conclude our show for the day. If you haven't already, please like, comment, share, subscribe. You could always send that Cash App. Either way, I sincerely appreciate all of your feedback and your support. Unless you are going to be a feminist and say that body count shouldn't matter, or you have small dick energy because you are insecure. Thank you for watching The Radical Masculine, and have a good night. Spaceman, out!